Yes, guys, yes, people, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video. I hope you guys are doing well today. Guess what? The Premier League is back. Yes, it is back. After a week of international break, the Premier League is back. And the international break will return when the season is over for the Premier League, for every league in the world when that season is over, then it's back to the international break. So there you go. So as an England fan, I want to say 2 wins out of two. Italy, a really tough game, but we finally beat them at their ground since 1980 something, and we beat Ukraine, 2-0. So yeah, so that is 4 goals and one conceded. So far so good. But do I still think Gareth Southgate is still the right man for the job? No. So, but let's hope he can prove it wrong. But so overall, he finally beat Italy, a good top team, and yeah. So well done to England, and yeah. So let's see if Gareth Southgate can keep this up, which I doubt that. So yeah, and for Scotland, that is 2 wins, especially that stunning victory against Spain because I didn't think Scotland would beat them, but they actually did a 2-0, kept a clean sheet. So that is unbelievable. So well done to Scotland. For Wales, they're unbeaten. I think they drew against Croatia and they've beaten some other team which I've forgotten. For Republic of Ireland, they lost against France. For Northern Ireland, I think I'm not sure. I think they maybe drew their game. So, yeah, so far so good for the parts of the country in the UK: Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So far so good. So let's hope they can keep this up. And just imagine if all 4 countries in the UK qualify for the European Championship next year. Honestly, that would be absolutely great. So good luck to all of them. Right, enough of that for now. Let's concentrate on this week's game week number 29. And there's some really great games. And the biggest one is going to be the Manchester City versus Liverpool. And that's the first game I'm going to predict on since that game is on the 12:30 p.m. kickoff. But before we get started, if you guys haven't already, make sure you click the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're new, click the bell notification so that you never miss any of my YouTube content, and make sure you click the share button so that you can share this video to everybody so that they can give their thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And what's your prediction? Let me also know in the comments down below. All right, so without further ado, let's kick off this week's Premier League predictions. All right, so like I said before, the game of the weekend is Manchester City versus Liverpool at the Etihad. Now, the bad news for Manchester City is that Erling Haaland, who scored 42 goals, in the whole season, has been injured. He didn't feature in the Norway game, and he hasn't been training before the today or maybe even yesterday. So that is a bad news for City because when you lose your best players like Erling Haaland, can your team still do well? We shall wait and see. But let's not forget that Man City won the league last season without the striker, so they should be fine. But they should be more worried than fine because Erling Haaland is the best player for Man City, and I told you guys that he'll be breaking records. Look what he done, yeah. He has scored 40 goals, which no other Man City player can do. Yeah, he needs to score at least how many goals have he? I think he. Let's just see how many goals Erling Haaland scored very, very quickly. I don't want to mistakenly put it wrong. Let's just have a look. So yeah, Erling Haaland has now 28 goals, sorry. So he needs to score at least four goals to equal Mo Salah's record and score more than that to break that. And let's hope that Erling Haaland doesn't get injured from now until the end of the season because if he does, then the title belongs to Arsenal. But we shall wait and see. But for this game, Man City against Liverpool, I have to go for City win because Liverpool they haven't played against West Ham, so they got 2 games in hand, just like the other team. But their last game was against Bournemouth and they lost it 1-0. And guess what? That happened at the 12:30 p.m. kickoff. That's where um that's where Liverpool need to be careful. When they had that situation against Nottingham Forest, they've lost. So, yeah, it looks like when Liverpool don't like the 12:30 p.m. kickoff and they have to suffer against their rivals Man City. Now, of course, when these two faced each other last season, it was a draw 2-2. But Liverpool beat them 1-0 at Anfield. And of course, these two faced each other in the Carabao Cup. So, and it was 3-2 to Manchester City, and that was a really great game. So Man City went through. So for this game tomorrow, it's a difficult game, but listen, Man City need to get this win because they have a game in hand and need to make sure they put pressure on Arsenal. So yeah, so for Liverpool, and plus Liverpool's last game was against Real Madrid when they lost to them 1-0. So yeah, so I told you guys that Liverpool. So the top four isn't done for Liverpool, but if they don't beat Man City and teams like Brighton, Newcastle do, and then win the game in hand, then I don't see Liverpool finishing the top four. So there you go. So with this game tomorrow, I'm going to go for a slight Manchester City win of 2-1 because, like I said, it's at the Etihad, and Liverpool don't have a really good record against Man City at the Etihad in the Premier League. So there you go. So for this game tomorrow, I have to go for Man City win of 2-1. I think maybe Phil Foden will score, maybe De Bruyne will score. So Liverpool, I bet maybe Darwin Núñez will score for Liverpool. So that's basically it. So it's a huge game. Man City, if they win, they'll be 5 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand. Whereas for Liverpool, if they win, I think they might. Yeah, Liverpool win. There will be 3 points. Sorry, 2 points by Newcastle with 2 games in hand. So things get really interesting. But I don't see Liverpool beating Man City. So yeah, 2-1 to Man City is going to be my prediction on that one. All right, we move on into Bournemouth against Fulham. Now, of course, Fulham had their game against Man United, you know, and they've lost to them 3-1. And guess what? Mitrovic will suffer, will have a 3 month, a 3 month, a 10 game ban. So that means he could not be featuring from now until next season because we're in game week 29, and that means he won't be able to feature from now until the end of the season. So yeah, Mitrovic, you let the team down. Marco Silva let the team down, and also Willian let the team down because before that red card, Fulham, for me, had that chance to beat Manchester United and go through to the FA Cup semi-final, which they haven't done for a very long time. But guess what? Once push the referee, get a handball and complain, then you let the team down. So yeah, so since Marco Silva is not going to feature the next 3 games, and since Alexander Mitrovic will not feature the next 10 games, the same thing goes for Lilian for the next 3 games. Do I see them beating Bournemouth? Absolutely not, because like I said, Bournemouth's last home game was against Liverpool and they beat them 1-0. So for this game tomorrow at 3 p.m. kickoff, I have to go for a Bournemouth win of 2-0. I think Chris Billy will score, and maybe 10 minutes and Lanky will score for Bournemouth. So yeah, if Fulham didn't lose Alexander Mitrovic, Willian, and Marco Silva, then I would have gone for Fulham win. But because of that incident, then I just have to go for Bournemouth win of 2-0. I'm sorry, Fulham. So yeah, so let's hope that Fulham prove me wrong. But after that terrible incident in the FA Cup against Man United at Old Trafford before the international break, I have to go for Bournemouth win of 2-0. I'm sorry, I just have to. So yeah, 2-0 to Bournemouth is going to be my prediction. Right, this game, Arsenal versus Leeds United. It's interesting that game is not like a 5:30 p.m. kickoff because there's an old rivalry and these two teams hate each other. So I wonder why that game is at 3 p.m. But anyway, Arsenal versus Leeds United, 3 p.m. kickoff. Now, I'm not sure if Leeds United have their new manager just yet, but what I've heard is that sorry guys, let me close the window. Right. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but like I was saying, what I've heard is that Marco Bielsa could be returning as a Leeds United manager after he got sacked. So yeah, it's just like Crystal Palace as well. Who Roy Hodgson could be returning back after he got sacked. So has been weird and shocking at the same time. So there you go. So I'm not sure if Leeds United will have a new manager just yet, but even though they do, listen, it's at the Emirates Stadium, and yeah, Arsenal's last home game was against Crystal Palace, and they destroyed them 4-1. So for this game tomorrow, I have to go for an Arsenal win of 3-0 because, like I said, if Liverpool could do Arsenal the favour And let's say like if Man City lose and then Arsenal win, guess what? Arsenal will be 11 points clear, and you have to say that they will 100% win the title because the chance of Arsenal winning the title is 58%. But guess what? If Arsenal can keep on winning and make sure that City keep dropping points, then Arsenal for me will definitely win the league. And I said this in October. They need to be taking Arsenal seriously. I see them perhaps winning the title and definitely finishing the top four. And people thought I was talking rubbish. You say, why are you saying that when you're a Chelsea fan? Listen, I'm a Chelsea fan, but I'm also a football fan. Not only do I watch Chelsea games, but I want to watch games as well. So there you go. So people want to so if people don't want Arsenal to win the league, fine. If you want to say bad things for Arsenal, fine. But guess what? I said this in October, and I also said it to fans to my friends who are Arsenal fans that you guys will finish the top four, be above Chelsea and win the title. And they agreed with me. They really did agree with me. So there you go. So people thought I was talking rubbish. Let's see what happens now. So Arsenal, all over to you. But if they so there you go. So let's see what happens. So since this at the Emirates, I have to go for an Arsenal and 3-0. So there you go. Now this game is interesting. Brighton against Brentford. Now this is seventh against eighth, and these two are on the same points. Same points. So this could get very interesting. Of course, Brentford won. What was Brentford's last game? Because let me just have a quick look. Oh yeah, Brentford drew 1-1 against Leicester City. Well, for Brighton, they didn't have their game in the Premier League, but I know they beat Grimsby 4-1. I mean 4-0, sorry. So yeah, this game could be very interesting. Of course, both teams are battling out for the Europa League. So yeah, I don't know what to expect from this game. Of course, it's so hard to predict which team will win. So that's why my head is telling me that this game could be a draw, you know. This could be a draw. So for this game tomorrow, I'm looking forward to this one. I'll be definitely watching that one tomorrow. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 between Brighton and Brentford because, like I said, it's so tough because these two teams are overachieving if one of them finishes in Europe because none of us would have ever predicted that neither Brighton or Brentford will finish. But the reason why that is because both teams, the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool, have been playing shit this season. That's why we're allowing them to finish in the top six or the top seven. So yeah, so for this game tomorrow, it's so difficult to predict which team will win, but I have to go for a 1-1 between Brighton and Brentford. So there you go. It's going to be very interesting, but I'm definitely looking forward to that game. Definitely going to be watching that game tomorrow since it's at 3 p.m. Right, the next one is Crystal Palace against Leicester City. Now, of course, both Crystal Palace and Leicester City are in deep trouble because if you look at the table, Leicester City are 1 point above the relegation, where for Crystal Palace they're 3 points behind the relegation. So one team really needs to win this if they want to survive. So the battle for survival continues on. You know, it really does continue on. So it's so tough because, like I said, but I think Roy Hodgson should be the new manager for Crystal Palace. If not, then I don't know what to predict. But since it's a new manager bounce for Crystal Palace, I feel like they will win because, like I said, new manager bounce means that there's a chance that your team could win. So it's not gonna be like a high scoring game for Crystal Palace, but I feel like they will get the job done because since Roy Hodgson is returning, and since there's a new manager bounce, I have to go for a slight win of Crystal Palace 2-1. And guess what? It's at Selhurst Park. It was at the King Power Stadium. Then it's going to be a difficult game for them. But since it's at Selhurst Park and since Roy Hodgson is returning, I expect Crystal Palace to win. And if they do beat Leicester City, then for me, like Brendan Rodgers needs to get sacked because if West Ham win their game and Leicester City lose, Leicester City could be dropped out the top three, bottom three, and no one, even me, would have ever predicted that. So yeah, it's going to be worse for Leicester City, unfortunately, since Brendan Rodgers still remains as the Leicester City manager. So unfortunately for them, I have to go for a Crystal Palace win of 2-1. So it is what it is. So 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Now this next game is the Midlands derby. Nottingham Forest versus Wolves because Wolverhampton is based in the West Midlands, Well, Nottingham Forest is based as the Midlands, so this is like a Midlands derby. So looking forward to that one. Nottingham Forest against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, I know Wolverhampton Wanderers lost 4-2 against Leeds United, but let me check on Nottingham Forest. What was their last game? Oh, they've lost against Newcastle. So yeah, at home. So um, let me. And if you look at the table, yeah, let me just have a look at the table very quickly. Nottingham Forest are in 16th, while for Wolves are in 13th. And also, take a look at this. Nottingham Forest are now 2 points ahead of West Ham, whereas for Wolves they are 3 points ahead. So yeah, that's why I love the Premier League because the title ways, the top four ways, and the battle of survival. That's why the Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world. 100%. That is a fact, and no one can complain about that. Nobody. So yeah, this is so interesting. So, Nottingham Forest against Wolverhampton Wanderers is so difficult, because Nottingham Forest lost at home and also Wolves lost at home. So, for this game tomorrow in the Midlands Derby, I have to go for. It's so tough, I have to go for a draw. Really have to go for a draw, but my mind is telling me Wolves will win. But it's so difficult, It really is. So, I don't know what to predict. Who's that? I don't know what to predict. Not the voice against Wolves. It's so difficult. I have to go for a draw. Perhaps 2-2? Nah, I have to go for a draw. Yeah, I was thinking 1-1, but I'm like, nah, teams don't really score that much. So I have to go for a draw 1-1 between that game. So yeah, all I know is that it's so hard to predict because both teams are close to the relegation battle. But it's so difficult. If there was a new manager bounce between Nottingham Forest and Wolverhampton Wanderers, then maybe we're going to go for a win. But since Steve Cooper's at the job and since that Wolves manager is still at the job, unfortunately, I have to go for a draw. It's as simple as that. It's going to be 1-1. That is it. Right, this one is at 5:30 p.m. kickoff. It's at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea versus Aston Villa. Now, I'm not going to talk about this too much, but my prediction on that one, and plus, I know this may shock you, but I have to go for an Aston Villa win of 2-1 because since Chelsea don't really do well after the international break, remember last season when we lost to Brentford 4-1 at Stamford Bridge, and then we lost 5-2 against um was in West Brom at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's record at Stamford Bridge after a March international break is horrendous. And I know it's going to continue and plus, it's the battle of the mid table because Chelsea are in 10th, while Aston Villa are in 11th. So, yeah, it's the battle of the mid table, and whoever wins will be above. So, well, of course, we're above Aston Villa, but if Aston Villa win, which I think they will do, they'll be above Chelsea. So, yeah, for that game tomorrow, I'm not confident because after joining against Everton before the international break under Graham Potter, uh, it's so difficult for me. It really is difficult for me to predict the Chelsea win. So, unfortunately, Chelsea fans, I have to go for an Aston Villa win of 2-1. That is all. That is going to be my prediction on that one. So, there you go. So, I want Chelsea to prove they won, but after that draw against Everton, honestly, I'll not be confident in this game against Aston Villa. So, 2-1 to them is going to be my prediction. Right. When right, let's move on into Everton's the Sunday's games. Starting off with West Ham versus Southampton. And of course both teams are in the bottom three. So yeah, I mean West Ham and Southampton are in serious trouble. For this game is so difficult, but it's really good because whoever only one team can survive and three teams will get relegated. So it is what it is. So West Ham United versus Southampton is going to be a very interesting game. Very interesting game. Now, since he's at the London Stadium, I expect West Ham United to beat Southampton. But since West Ham United last game, I've forgotten what that was. Let me just have a look. West Ham's last game was against. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, they drew against Aston Villa. So yeah, that was West Ham's last home game, and Southampton they also drew 3-3 against Tottenham. So for this game tomorrow, I'm gonna have to go for a draw because I wanted West Ham to win, but since Southampton drew against Tottenham, which I didn't expect, and since West Ham United drew their last home game against Aston Villa, I have to go for a draw on this one because honestly, I don't know if one of these teams will survive. I really, and plus for me, if West Ham do get relegated, then I'll be very shocked because you went from competing for the Champions League to now buying for survival. Like they went from high to low. So yeah, things are really, really starting. I'm really starting to worry against West Ham because to me, none of us, even me, would have ever predicted West Ham to be relegated. So I'll be very shocked if that happens. So West Ham need to get that win. But since they drew against Aston Villa and since Southampton drew their last home game, I have to go for a draw, 1-1. I see maybe Mikel Antonio scoring for West Ham and maybe Southampton, maybe Che Adams. So yeah, that's basically it. So 1-1 between that one. And then another great game is Newcastle against Manchester United. Now, of course, these two faced each other in the Carabao Cup final a month ago, and Man United beat them 2-0. And of course, Newcastle are looking for revenge, but Man United, they on the Everton Hog is absolutely looking really good. So this game, I went for Man United win of 2-0 in the Carabao Cup final, got it spot on. For this game on Sunday, I have to go for the same thing, 2-0. I think Rashford will score, and if he's not injured, and I think maybe Bruno Fernandes will score. So those are going to be my two goal scorers. Of course, Casemiro got a red card, so he won't be featuring in that game. So that's it. But I know that Rashford will score and Bruno Fernandes will score. So if Newcastle do win, then that means um there will be the same points as Manchester United, depending on the goal difference. So this is a really great game. Man United versus Newcastle United, third against fifth. If Man United win, they will be in 53 points. But if Newcastle win, then that means they will be the same points as Manchester United. So I'll be definitely looking forward to that game, and I'll be definitely be watching that game. And if I'm not that busy, I might do a live watch along with that one on Sunday. So make sure you guys check that out. Really great game to watch. So for this game, I wanted to go for a draw because it's at St James's Park. But for me, Man United, of course, when these two face each other in the Premier League, it was 0-0. But that game, Man United were robbed. So there you go. So for this game on Sunday, I have to go for Man United win of 2-0. So that's basically it. So if Man United don't win, then they're under some serious pressure, and they could be out of the top four if Tottenham beat Everton, which I'll get to in a couple of seconds. So there you go. So Man United do need to get that win, and I know they will get that win. So 2-0 to them is going to be my prediction. All right, the last game on Gameweek 29 is Everton versus Tottenham Hotspur. Now, of course, Everton, what was their last game, Everton? Because I know that Tottenham drew against Southampton, but what's Everton's last home game? Oh, yeah, they drew against Chelsea. Right, they drew against Chelsea. Now, for this game, Antonio Conte has been sacked last Sunday. So, um, there's going to be an assistant manager, of course. So, and I'm not sure, and I forgot to know what his name is. So, since there's a new manager bound for Tottenham, and since Antonio Conte is sacked, I expect Tottenham to beat Everton because, like I said, Everton are starting to get unbeaten because they beat Brentford and they drew against Chelsea. So the question is, can Everton stop Tottenham from making it into the top four? We shall wait and see. But since Antonio Conte is sacked and there's a new manager bound, I have to go for a Tottenham win of 2-0. Of course, Mitchell Pochettino, Jules Nagelsmann, Thomas Frank, and who else? I've forgotten who else are on the Tottenham manager short list. So for me, they wanted to Graham Potter. So if Graham Potter doesn't do well for Chelsea, like finish like beating Real Madrid, taking us into the top four and all that stuff, then for me, he needs to go, and hopefully Chelsea can sign Jurgen Nagelsmann and make sure that Graham Potter be the manager for Tottenham next season. So there you go. So for this game on Monday night, since it's a new manager bounce and since Tottenham need to get this win, And since Antonio Conte is sacked, I'm going to go for 2-0 Tottenham win. I think Harry Kane will score a brace. I think he will do that for Tottenham. So that's going to be who the goal scorer for to be on that Monday night. So 2-0 to Tottenham is going to be my prediction. All right, guys. So that is all my predictions. Let me run through them one more time. So the game of the weekend, I've gone for Man City 2-1 win against Liverpool. And then for they are going for a Bournemouth win of 2-0 against Fulham, unfortunately. They are going for a 3-0 Arsenal win against Leeds United in the big rivalry derby. They are going for a Brighton Brentford win, a draw 1-1, because like I said, it's difficult to predict. They are going for a slight 2-1 Crystal Palace win since Roy Hodgson is going to be back as a Crystal Palace manager. And then I'm going for a Nottingham Forest 1-1 draw between against Wolves. Then I'm going for a shock Aston Villa win of 2-1 against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Even though I know that to happen, my mind is telling me it's going to be that. I've gone for a draw between West Ham United against Southampton at the London Stadium. Then I've gone for a 2-0 Manchester United win against Newcastle. Another great game to watch. And then the last game, I'm going for a 2-0 Hotspur win against Everton on Monday night. All right, guys, so that is it. That is all my Premier predictions for game week number 29. So let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree on my predictions and what's your predictions. Let me know in the comments down below. And if I have time, I'll react to them and see if I agree or disagree or somewhere in the middle. And I'll ask you guys why you went for that prediction. If you guys can let me know, then maybe I will do agree with you on that one. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. The Premier League is back. Let's hope those games, the Man City, Liverpool, the Newcastle, Man United, the Brighton and Brentford game, let's hope those games will be great and fun to watch. And yeah, so all I've got to say is that hope you guys have a nice weekend. Good luck to all of your teams, and I'll see you guys later on. Don't forget, later on today, there will be a match preview for Chelsea versus Aston Villa. Tomorrow, there's going to be a live watch along and a match reaction after that game, so make sure you guys check that out. And if you guys don't want to miss any of those things, make sure you click the subscribe button if you're new, and then click the bell notification so that you never miss any of those. And make sure you click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and click the share button too. And if you guys can keep on subscribing, keep on liking, and keep on sharing, then that would be great. And over the last couple of weeks, my subscribers have gone up a bit. So big up you guys, and thank you guys so much for that one. Make sure you guys do that because you'll make me a really happy person. You really will make me so make sure you guys do all those things. So yeah, so as always, good luck. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later on. And let's hope Chelsea can prove you wrong, because I went for an Aston Villa win, but let's hope they prove you wrong. So take care, guys, and as always, peace and up the Blues. I'm out of here.